Hello, BookTube. This video will probably be a little bit short. I'm sorry about that, but I haven't made a video in a couple of days, and I wanted to touch base and see how you all are, and also show you some books, of course, and not just books. Like, for instance, I want to show you this, the latest addition to my steadily growing collection of houseplants that do not die. My surly houseboy got me this to put a smile on my face. It's a potted palm. It's a ponytail palm that comes in a ceramic bowl, but also in this neat little knit thing. See, the bowl is inside of this little knit container. Of course, my surly houseboy doesn't know. He doesn't have any idea. I don't have any idea why that is so. I'm assuming it's not just decorative. I'm assuming that it has something to do with aeration or water retention or whatever. I think it's a cute thing. I was telling him for months that the next adventure I wanted to try is a plant that has bark. This does. No instructions on this little tab as to how to care for it. The impression that I get is that it needs very little in the way of watering. But we shall see. I will do research on it. But this is going to go right alongside the other two potted plants that I have on that same counter, and that still leaves room for two more. Or maybe three more if I take the viney type thing and hang it up, because it's significantly bigger than it was when I first got it. It just keeps growing. I've been watching, because one of the I can't show it to you here, but one of the long tendrils, the vine tendrils, is reaching in the direction of where I typically type here on the fainting couch. So I can see that it will send out a budded extension, and then gradually from that bud will come one leaf and one other budded extension. I guess just infinitely. You'd think it would need more soil, but water and sunlight seem to be all that it needs. And same thing with the Larry the lavender plant, working just fine. It doesn't really have the luster that it had originally. I don't know if that's maybe because I only water the soil and I don't water the leaves. I don't know if that would make a difference. I don't actually know what I'm doing. I just love the fact that these things aren't dying. So I'm going to research a potted palm and see what kind of care it needs. I'm assuming less water than the other two. That's all right. And in addition to books, there's also this. The July smoke signals. This is Big Canoe News in northern Georgia. This is a multi-section print newspaper. It's beautifully designed, as you can see. Just a beautifully designed, big local newspaper. It comes out once a month. And there's one part of it that is not... So you've got in the arts and entertainment section here, you've got local potter. Wonderful, wonderful local interest features like that. But there is something in here that isn't local. As you know, if you watch this channel, then you already know. In the back of the news section is a book section. That, for instance, is the column Liam's Lyceum about new releases in the fantasy genre by Liam Hall, who is the Liam's Lyceum of BookTube fame. He is a BookTuber. This will also have a regular monthly column by yours truly about new releases in that month, some of them along a theme or not. You've got an inset here for the New Books Corner that features Big Canoe or Georgia writers. But this is not part of me. I don't do this. I don't set it up. I don't pick the authors. I don't do anything like that. Instead, my coverage is not local. Look at how beautiful this is. Just look at how beautiful a job they do with this. Just amazing. Always a joy to get this in the mail every month. It's, like I always say on this channel, it's a joy to get your own writing in the mail. If you're an old newspaper warhorse like me, then there's an element of legitimacy there that no amount of online publishing can equal. I know that's not true. I know that's not fair, but nevertheless. And if there's If there's a thrill to getting your own work in the mail, well, getting your own section in the mail, getting to see what it looks like, that is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I have had this job a few times in the past, in the very distant past, an arts and entertainment editor or a book section editor. Usually, in fact, every time in the past, if I was a books editor, I was just the books editor. I wasn't a book section editor because the paper didn't have a book section. Most papers don't have a dedicated book section. Big Canoe does every month. And in the past, when I've had this job, of course, there was no internet. So I was there when, the first edition came off the printers. We got an edition back in the newsroom that was still wet. This is not that. This is a different time, so I have to wait for my newspaper to come in the mail like anybody else. And it's an absolute thrill. Just an absolute thrill. Okay, now we'll quickly go through some books here. The first two were brought to me by my surly houseboy to cheer me up. And one of them is going straight on the pile for August. Because keep in mind, we're a third of the way through July, which means that right on the horizon is Garb August in its second year. A booktube event created by Criminali designed to celebrate the reading of trash. Garb August did not die last year. It is back and worse than ever this year. And one of the things that my surly houseboy got me, I think probably because he knows that I love UK trade paperbacks, was this thing, The Maze by Nelson DeMille. These big, stiff UK trade paperbacks that I really do love. I'm going to put this on the pile for August. And then the other thing, my surly houseboy got it for me, but I think he was thinking, well, I know he was thinking, this is a subject that interests you, so you must want this. He doesn't, of course, have a mental recall of every book that I have already here on the shelf. So he got me a double. This is by Philip Line, and it's called The Vikings and Their Enemies, in a trade paperback. I didn't know this thing ever had a trade paperback. I have the hardcover that I got at the Brattle, I think, earlier this year. So I have a double of this, which means that one of these two copies is going to make its way to Vin's house at Revenant Reads. And Vin has a new house, so he has a new address. I'll need to find out what that is. Then we got the finished copy of this beautiful thing from Princeton. This is called Alien Worlds by Steve Nichols, and it's all about bugs. It's all about insects. And it's a great heavy thing because it's full of full-color illustrations. They aren't just in a little inset in the middle of the book. They're all throughout here. This is a far more impressive finished copy than I was expecting. I still can't report on the quality of the job that Nichols does writing it, but this is a beautiful book just physically. If you've got, for instance, an insect fan on your list, you'll definitely want to keep this in mind. And I will. I think this is an August release, August 1st, so soon, just a few weeks away. Then we have a work of translation, a novel in translation. I think this is also an August release. No, this is late July. This is. Let's see here. This is by Khalid Khalifa, translated by Lenny Price, and it's called No One Prayed Over Their Graves. And it's set in some of the oldest cities in the world. This is a tragedy that happens overnight. Let me see if I can find a quick plot description here. No. Okay, well, there'll be one on the book. On a December morning in 1907, two close friends returned to their village near Aleppo after a night of drunken carousing in the city, only to discover that there has been a massive flood. Their neighbors, families, children, nearly all of them are dead. Only a couple of survivors. Their homes, shops, and places of worship are leveled. Their lives will never be the same. That's the thing that starts off this book. It's coming right up. Sorry, she just knocked that out of the way. She gets her way. It's coming right up, so I will be getting to it sooner rather than later. Then we have this thing here. I think this is also a July release. We're going to wrap up very quickly. Don't worry. Okay, the only thing that I want to know, you're putting out a pub sheet. That's because you're not sending this. The pub sheets don't go to the public. They go to editors and reviewers. There's only one thing I want to know. There's only one thing I want to know about this book, and that is the date of its release. And you know that. So let me keep searching on this sheet for the one detail that I want to know. The one and only thing I want to know about this book that I can't learn from 10 other different sources. Okay, there we go. October. So this comes out in October. So don't even think about it anytime soon. This is from Europa Editions, and it is a graphic novel of My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferranti. Very strange things. That's all it is. It's a graphic novel adaptation of that book that I know a lot of you like more than I do. So maybe one of you would be interested in taking this on to read and review for October. That would be great. You'd be in a better position to do it than I would be. And this next one comes out in April. So it's a long, long time away. This is by Thomas Seeley. This is probably his popular masterwork, the summation of a lifetime. This is Piping Hot Bees and Boisterous Buzz Runners, 20 Mysteries of Honeybee Behavior Solved. That's all that this is about. It's just, more than 20. The author here does the Edmund Wilson approach of, Edward Wilson did a book on his life studying ants just a few years ago. And this is along the same line, so this will have generous helpings of his autobiography, his stories and favorite anecdotes from the field and the lab, interspersed with lots and lots of information about honeybees, which he has studied his whole life, what they do, how they communicate, all that sort of stuff. How they break off, how they hive. So you've got a hive that's full. The queen has laid sacks of other queens. So she swarms. That hive swarms. They break off a large amount, 3/4 of the old hive, and go in search of a new one. They go to make a new hive, to find a new place. The chrysalid queens, the queens and eggs in the old hive they are ready, they are maturing, they are well guarded. They will soon have that hive for their own, but there will be another one. And so on and so forth, especially for me, how bees communicate. That is always just fascinating to me. So this will be coming out in April, a long, long time from now. But and then more popular science. This is August, I believe. Yes, August 8th. This is from Ben Stanger, and this is From One Cell, a journey into life's origins and the future of medicine. So let's see what this says here. Each of us began life as a single cell. From this humble origin, we embarked on a risky journey fraught with opportunities for disaster. Yet amazingly, we reached our destination intact, emerging as a dazzlingly complex, exquisitely engineered assemblage of trillions of cells. This metamorphosis constitutes one of nature's most spectacular yet commonplace magic tricks, and one of its most coveted secrets. And in this book, the author offers a breathtaking glimpse into what scientists are discovering about how life and the body take shape, and how these revelations stand to revolutionize medicine and the future of human health. So, early August, a month from now. So, more popular science is very, very, very intriguing. And a lot of these things, because they're late July or early August, really should be going on my immediate TBR pile. It's feeling a little bit much, but we will see. Certainly, I wanted you to see what they are. I'm not going to attempt a Steve pyramid. I'm going to wrap this up instead. This has gone on way too long. But I wanted to talk to you again, so I will. I'll wrap this up for now. Any tips about a potted palm would be much appreciated. And any subscriptions to Big Canoe News. Maybe not for the rest of the paper. Maybe you're not interested in a local chiropractor or the wonderful half-page spread of adoptable dogs, which also includes full-color portraits of the babies in question. Maybe you're not interested in how the local marching band is doing. But right there in the middle of the paper is a section you will be interested in. right there in the middle of the paper is a 2-page book section of new releases and columns by people you know. It might be worth the annual subscription cost to get that on your doorstep every month. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I will be back. Thank you, BookTube.